Hello guys, and welcome to another installment of A Computers and Technology. Today we're going to be taking a look at this P10 series 10-port USB 3.0 hub sent over by ORICO. Now I know the cover on this makes this look like it's a USB 2.0 hub. I have to admit, I did open this up and I took a little peek inside to make sure I received the right product, and this is indeed the USB 3.0 version. So something happened when this was shipped off, the wrong sleeve was put on or something, and I will be contacting Eileen to make sure that they know about this issue, because I was kind of concerned when I got the package. I'm like, oh no, they sent me the wrong one, and I opened it up and it turns out this was the USB 3.0 version all along. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to take this thing out of the box and get some first impressions. And of course, right after the unboxing, I'm going to break out my ASUS G75 and we will run this thing through some tests. Really excited to open this up because I've been waiting to replace my tiny little 4-port Kensington USB hub with this bad boy. And let's go ahead and pop this open because I am just really excited to get this thing out of the box. So we're going to slide the sleeve off, which is the wrong sleeve, by the way. On the box, you can see just some labeling, ORICO, leading technologies, and that's really about it. I'm not really going to take a look at the cover for too long because, once again, it's the wrong cover, and we're going to be getting the wrong idea from this one. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that at all. Let's just go ahead and take this thing out of the box because, once again, really excited to open this up. There we go. As I said before, I did take a little peek to make sure this was the USB 3.0 version, and it appears it is as indicated by those blue USB ports, but I'm going to take this out. As you can see, I haven't even opened the baggie yet, and I'm going to rip this open. Now, I am expecting quite a bit from this since it is a bit pricey. It's $35 on Amazon at the moment. The link for this will be in the description as always, but as I am pulling it out now, it is all plastic, but it doesn't feel too bad at all. It actually feels really nice. Put it through the flex test. There's not much flex in there at all. Not too bad, even though it's all plastic. It's pretty sturdy. Knock it around here. Not bad. That power button doesn't feel too bad either. That's a nice clunky power switch, actually, if I bring it up to the mic. Oh, that feels and sounds great. Okay, so I'll put this off to the side, and we will dig further down in here. We should find a power supply along with this. There we go. So here is the power supply for the USB 3.0 hub, and there's a USB cable right here along with some directions. Now, the operation of this should be pretty straightforward, so I don't think we're really going to need to take a look at these, but they do come included in the box. I'm just going to open up the USB 3.0 cable to see how that feels. It doesn't feel too bad, I have to say. It is a bit thinner than a lot of the USB 3.0 cables I have handled in the past. Now, I've just been handling this for a little bit to gain a better judgment of the overall quality of the USB hub itself, and for $35, I would have to say that the quality is definitely acceptable, but not exceptional. The hub is entirely composed of plastic, yet it is surprisingly sturdy. As you can see, when I try to put it through the bend test, I get little to no flex at all. Surprisingly sturdy for something that is completely composed of plastic. On the front panel, you can see all 10 of our USB 3.0 ports along with their corresponding access indication lights. Right below that is the nice clunky power switch, and right above all the ports is the ORICO leading technology logo. If we start taking a look at the sides, you can see that there's pretty much nothing there. On the top, we find the ports for our USB 3.0 cable and the power jack, and that's pretty much it. Flipping it over to the bottom, you can see it has some nice anti-slide feet, so that's going to really come in handy because my Kensington USB hub slides all over the table, and it frustrates me, and I was really hoping that these would come with rubber feet, and it does come with rubber feet, so that's definitely a big plus there. It's not going to slide all over your desk. Really appreciate that little touch by ORICO. That's something I really needed. As you can see, I have my ASUS G75 out right now. We're going to see how easy it is to get this thing up and running. Apparently, it's using a VL812 hub controller, which is actually an interesting choice for this, and I'll talk about why in a little bit. But it should be compatible with most modern-day OSs, including Linux and Windows, as I have right in front of me. We're going to test if this works on both. So I'm going to go ahead and hook everything up, and we'll see if this actually works. Now, that took a very long time to find all the drivers, so much so that I had to stop recording in order to save battery life. 15 minutes later, the device is finally detected though, and I have my external hard drive plugged in and properly detected. I'm going to unplug this real quick and make sure we are getting power from all of the USB ports and that they are all indeed functional. So I'm just going to start plugging in my little USB multimeter. Starting in 5 volts there, 5 volts there. Alright, so all of the ports look good so far. We're going to run some further tests in just a few minutes, but I'm going to plug this into my Linux machine and make sure it is properly detected. I mounted the drive through the hub onto Ubuntu 16.04 without any problem, so it's all good on that front. Now I'm just going to plug in a bunch of devices and see how the hub handles that. I managed to conjure up 10 USB devices and I have them all running simultaneously. They are all properly detected by my PC. Look at all those storage mediums right there. And according to my USB multimeter, we are still getting a steady 5 volts to everything. If I take my IR thermometer and just take some temps, as you can see, temperatures are definitely not bad at all. It is starting to get a bit warm, but that's about it. It's just staying at that level where it's slightly warm to the touch. And if I check out the power supply as well, yeah, temperatures are holding steady. I have just run into a small issue as far as quality is concerned. It's nothing major, but I thought I should let you guys know the power button can sometimes become lodged inside the USB hub casing. So if I just hit it off to the side like so, as you can see, the power button is kind of stuck in an awkward position. If I just push it off to the other side, it comes back up. But yeah, that is kind of annoying. If you hit it wrong, it will become stuck. You have to hit it straight down and let it go straight back up in order for it to come back up properly. I've run into another issue with the power button, and it's really starting to detract away from the overall quality of this USB hub. Now it just gets stuck all over the place. It's not responsive at all now. You know, there we go. Like, it'll just get stuck randomly and it won't activate and stay in place, and oh my goodness, it's just lost that whole tactile feel that it had before. It doesn't feel good anymore at all. You know, when I had it up to the mic earlier, it made a nice cookie sound, and it was very responsive. Now it kind of lost that, and oh yeah, I don't know. I'm just not liking the power button now because it's just gone horribly wrong. You know, that's really ticking me off, so I'm going to actually tear this down on camera and get a look at what exactly the inside of this thing looks like and see if I can't get that power button to start working properly again, because that's actually getting on my nerves quite a bit. There we go, I got it apart, and I bet no other channel has torn this down. There's only 4 screws you need to remove to get this thing apart, so overall maintenance of this in the future is going to be pretty easy when the solder joints comes loose, or I need to replace a part on this or something like that. It's really easy to get apart, and that's definitely a plus. At first glance, the overall internal build quality looks pretty good. The PCB is clean, it's using all solid-state capacitors, and these USB ports are firmly mounted to the circuit board. Those are not going anywhere anytime soon. The back is the same story, everything's nice and clean. There's a little bit of flux left on the parts that looks like they hand soldered to the board, but besides that, everything looks a-okay. Now I was really curious to see how they were using the VL812 hub controller in this particular USB hub, because I believe that hub controller is only capable of supporting 4 or 5 USB ports at once, and obviously this one has more than that. But as you can see, they're actually using 3 of those controllers on this particular USB hub. So that is how they are enabling this to use all 10 ports at once. Okay, so I just ran a benchmark on my Silicon Power 120GB solid state drive, which is housed inside this ORICO USB-C drive enclosure, and these are the results while directly hooked up to the USB 3.0 ports on my ASUS G75. So what I'm going to do now is rerun the test while the hard drive enclosure is plugged into the ORICO USB 3.0 hub, and we're going to see if there are any major speed reductions. So I'm going to go ahead and run the test again and see what happens. Now, while that test is running, there is something I want to note real quick, and that's the fact that these blue LEDs on the USB hub are only to indicate if something is actually plugged into its corresponding USB port. They do not blink when the device plugged into the USB port is being accessed, unfortunately. I like blinky lights and stuff like that, so I was kind of disappointed. Not really a con, just something to note. The results are in, and there are little to no discrepancies between the two benchmarks, which is a good thing. Just a quick tip, this hub will still provide power to your devices if your computer is asleep or off, or if it is completely disconnected altogether, so you could use this as a standalone 10-port charging station if you really wanted to. So that's going to be about it for this overview. Overall, I thought this was a pretty decent USB 3.0 hub. That power button thing is really turning me off from this though. I mean, it has stopped working completely. Honestly, with something like this, you're not going to be using the power button all that often. I mean, I'm probably never ever going to use it, to be honest. It's just going to be left on all the time, so it's not really a big deal for me, but I still feel like it's one of those aspects that's definitely detracting from the overall quality of this USB 3.0 hub, which is actually pretty good. Speeds were pretty good. You can use 10 devices simultaneously, and the internal and external build quality are pretty decent. Just keep in mind that this enclosure is entirely composed of plastic, but it is still pretty sturdy, and that the power button can definitely become flaky after a couple uses, unfortunately. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can go ahead and post a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video. If you didn't like this video, please tell me why. Do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to support me, you can use my Amazon or eBay affiliate links. You can also check out my Patreon. And don't forget to drop a like on the Facebook page. Thanks for watching once again, guys, and I will see you in the next installment of A Computers and Technology.